Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program with me, Knee-High Hobo. First of all, I have a sweet in my mouth. If you can hear that, I apologise, but I do have a bit of a cold and I'm just trying to get some menthol in me and try and get some of the air moving around so I sound better for you guys. So you join us on the second tutorial for building space planes. Last time we built something of a quote-unquote fighter class. This time we are going to be building something that's going to be a bit bigger, more sort of a shuttle Boeing sort of affair. So we'll go ahead and start the game and come straight across to the space plane hangar. We'll go with a 3-man cockpit. I'm going to move that along. It's going to be much the same sort of design, but on a bigger scale. And of course, a bigger scale calls for more speed and more lift. Now these are the 3 fuel tanks that I've opted to use here. Also purely for aesthetics. No, not that one. I'm going to put this tail section on. And now to discuss the engines. So what we've got, there's 3 engines in the jet variety. Number 1 is a basic jet engine. Now this is a low altitude jet engine. Normally starts to run out of steam at around about 8,000 meters due to the atmosphere thinning out a little bit too much. At that stage, it's a good idea to pop this one in, the turbojet engine, which actually forces air through. But this is no good below about, I think it's about 5,000 meters as a guess. I don't know. I'd need to check those numbers. But I call this, again, air quotes, an upper stage. And then thirdly, there's this one, the Aerospike rocket. Now, this thing goes like the clappers. It's good for any altitude. 1 is more than enough to power this entire rocket. The only downside, though, is this just pours fuel into itself, and that's what makes it so. I built a craft last night in a private game I was playing, and I had this turned down to about 10%, and I was still accelerating through 400 meters per second on a craft bigger than this. It's way too powerful. In fact, instead of these get measured by power intake, power output, and airflow and optimum airflow. Well, it's not measured in optimal airflow, but that's one of the units you're given, and we will talk about those in a moment. This gets measured in fuel consumption, and I think at half its thrust, it's consuming 8 litres of fuel a second. These hold 225 litres, so that's 225 divided by 8. That's roughly about 30 seconds to drink this whole section. They're not particularly, in that respect, they're not particularly useful. I prefer, excuse me, I prefer to stay with the good old the rocket engines for that particular stage. In particular, this one, and that's going to do our upper stage there. Okay, so that's the primary part of the design, as we say. Actually, no, I'll tell you what, because we're not going to do an orbiter, I'm actually going to do a vertical takeoff shuttle in the next episode, which will be using the rockets and everything else. Hold on, I just need to, my timer's about to run out of battery here, so I need to just pop it into charge so you're going to hear the good old blub blum, blub blum. Yeah, we're going to do an upper stage, sorry, an orbiting shuttle, which is going to take off vertically, and it's going to land horizontally. But that's going to be next episode. For this one, we're just going to concentrate on getting this in the air. So, of course, first of all, we need wings, but I want to put some second engines. Now, this is a bit risky to do. I don't know why it did it that time. It's charging now anyway, so it should be the last of it. Yeah, this is a touch risky to do, because the parts don't really gel together super well at the moment. So I'm just putting this wing connector on there, And then what I'm going to do to that is I'm going to add two. You can add three, but three is pretty much your limit. And they are fussy about how they go on. If they won't go on at the back, try them at the front. And then just lift them and pull them back. Again, we're not putting a tier onto that. And these actually can do us some... No, actually, yeah, no, I said we're not doing the upper stage, didn't I? Just plonk those on there. So, yeah, this is going to be quite remnant of the SR71, I think, is this type of design. Okay, I'm looking for... Well, actually, whilst we're here, we'll pop a tail on it. And we can pop a couple of tails on there for a bit more control. And then the delta wing, but of course, what else would we be using? Now, the other thing I'm going to add to it as well, I'm not convinced it really makes much difference in the fuel, but they do look cool, is the ram air intakes. Theoretically, should make these more powerful and should allow for more airflow to keep the power up. I've never seen any evidence of that, I'll be honest, but I could be wrong. As I say, I'm not an aero scientist. Okay, next up, landing gear. Again, we need to put this as far back as we can. I'm going to hit the Q key, and that's going to add that. Now, again, because of the overhang on the engine here, we are going to need this to take off horizontally. And we'll knock the symmetry off there. I don't know if I can... I can't really get them any further. Well, I suppose I'm going to try moving this whole wing. More like that. And that should help keep it up. Okay, so, and we can put the... Again, the... Not this... Oh, it is that one. I'm going to put these at the front. I'm on the wrong side. So that's Shift and D. They need quite a lot of lift there. The thing... Actually, I didn't like that, because I don't like the parts not connecting properly. Now, that's not going to do it. And the other thing that I've not got as well is my V-wing. You know, the one that I'm always on about, that adds the stability to it, especially as you're plummeting out the atmosphere. I'd also like Squad to do a new nose cone that fits this better, or a bigger avionics package. Bigger one of these that just fits straight onto the front of there. Please. Okay, we'll do some control surfaces. So I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to put the symmetry on first. I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to hit oops, A, but I don't think A is the right one. If I do that again, no, it's not. W is the magic number. Okay, and that gives us our rudders. Let's put some, I think these are ailerons. Oh, damn it. There we go, and let's get some large. I'm going to hit A, and that's going to give us our flaps there. Now, like I said, I don't think this is going to be enough lift. So I'm going to pop the V-wings in the centre, not with the downforce, like that. Now, I know this is an odd looking design, but hopefully this should be good to go. So I'm not being particularly original with the name there, but never mind. So we're going to go ahead and save that. We'll take it out for its test flight, and let's see what happens. He seems confident. First of all, when it slams down, please have a look at that as well, Squad, the amount of planes we've got. Now, I'm expecting this section not to work particularly well, If that's the case, then we'll add struts. I didn't stage this either. So these are actually going to burn out reasonably quickly, but they're only going to be to help get it up and off the air. Wow, that lifts quickly. So maybe I've overbaked the lift a little bit. So let's take those V-wings off. Because if you have too much lift on your nose, the plane becomes uncontrollable. However, this section looked reasonably good, so let's do that up as Mark II, save and launch. Now, I'm going to try and do this, apart from steering left and right, I'm going to try and do it without actually lifting at all. I'm going to see if it naturally will pick itself up off the ground. And yes, it does, but for some reason, again, it's bowing over to the right. That roll to the left, that's not anything I'm doing, and I don't know why it's doing that. Wow, 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 wow. Did not mean to do that. And we'll gear up on that as well. So yeah, this is what I was on about here. This sort of whole flappy section. So we'll go back again. Okay, maybe we can get away without... Maybe we can get away without actually having those sections at all, because the lift seems pretty good on this. Like so. So let's try, that's the Mark III. Excuse me 1 second, whilst I just have a good cough. Sorry about that. So we're down 2 engines and quite a lot of wings, so this may be a little bit slower getting off the runway. But again, it's still pulling heavily to the right. I'm not sure why. Oh. Right, I think I'm going to have to rebuild this from the scratch. So, in fact, let's take all the wings off it and just find out what exactly is causing it to... let's do that. Let's replace that engine. Let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of them. And let's add 2 wheels. So we're just going to do that, and we'll see if this... In fact, actually, I'm not sure if that gear's straight. Let's add that again. Okay. I'm not going to bother saving this one, because this is a bit of a sort of interim shuttle. It is, it's pulling straight to the left, straight away. Okay. I'll go ahead and rebuild this then from scratch very quickly. So in the next episode, as I was saying, we're going to be using a sort of biplane design to build a shuttle that is going to be able to take off vertically, get into an orbit, and return without it's been tricky. A lot of people have tried it, and it's taken me a very long time to get the formula right. But make sure you stay tuned with that, because that one promises to be funny. Despite the fact I've done it once, I dare say there's still going to be quite a few hair-raising moments, because I've done it in a different game. It's not in this one, so we're going to be doing it from scratch. So I'm only going to be working on the principles that I know. Is that right? No. Yeah, only the principles of which I've worked on in another game. Also, don't forget to comment if you have a better way to do any of this stuff. You know, we'll open this up as a bit of a forum so that people can share their ideas and some of their designs. And if I don't know whether or not, because Squad have given me permission to do this. I'm not going to save it this time. Yeah, Squad have given me permission to do this, so whether or not they're going to embed the video link on their website, or or they're going to promote it in any way, I'm not sure. But if it is that you're watching this on the Squad website, and this is doing it again, it's still pulling to the left, then don't forget to check out some of the other videos. This is part of a series. We're just taking a break from it. Why is it... They need to sort those explosions out as well. Those explosions lie outside of the rules of anything... Let's see. Let's add 2 gears to the front. I don't know what's... I know the fighter the other day was doing this. And I can't see anything wrong with the symmetry on that. That's the thing. Okay. Yeah, this is all part of a series that we're just at the moment just taking a break from to work on these spaceplane tutorials. Yeah, but there's missions to Minmus and the Mun, and showing you how I use some of the new parts. Again, that's not really solved anything there. Anybody got any ideas? Because I am stumped. Anybody from Squad watching this as well, if you've got any ideas on why it's doing this, please let me know. So what I'm doing now is I'm going right out on the wingtips there for any extra stability. I'm going to pop these back down to where they were. And I'm going to add, if I remember correctly now, adding a buttload more wings helped. To stabilise it. That's primarily what these do. They're stabilisers more than trying to create lift. It's just putting that kick in it helps to create the lift. It looks a little bit ridiculous, but if it helps to solve the problem... those have done nothing. Okay, so wait. See, this is okay. Hold on, let's end flight, because all this is pulling way over to the left, and it shouldn't be. If anything, it should be pulling over to the right. So let's restart the flight, and let's not use the SAS on it. I'm going to take off organically. So the SAS is now off. Wow, it's even worse. The roll is pulling to the left. I am very confused. I'm going to take this whatever it's called, the avionics package off, and I am just going to replace it with a standard nose cone, and I'm going to see if that solves the problem. No, still pulling heavily to the left. Like it's defaultly. See, even the wings are trying to do that. I wonder if the flaps are the problem. Rolling the yawn. I'll tell you what, I'm going to restart the game, and again, I'm going to see if that solves it. It didn't last time, but I'm... Okay, everybody, I am back, having restarted the game. I realised shortly after I finished recording there that I should cut myself off mid-sentence. I got a bit overzealous with hitting the stop recording key, so sorry about that. So we're going to go ahead and come straight back to the hangar. Now, I did name and save that craft as hard left. That one. And I'll see if that solved the problem at all. After that, I'll try the engine. After that, I'm stumped and I just do not know. I mean, I've rebuilt this and... there we go. It seems to have settled down on that side of things. Now, we haven't got... I have to go back and... just come into here quickly. We'll put that avionics package back on. I will take away some of these wings because they're unnecessary. I'll save that, launch it, clear the runway, and proceed. Proceed. Wait for that to hit the deck. Boom. Okay, pitch and yawn's good. SAS is on. Throttle up. That looks better. Okay, I'm not touching any of the controls at the moment. I'm just going to see if this can get off the ground under its own steam without me adding any lift to it. The answer would be no. So I'll interject a touch, but a rather uneventful takeoff there. Nice rate of climb. So there you go. Muchly the same thing. It's just remembering to keep your centre of gravity right. Don't get carried away with this, because if you put this any further tilted up, this won't be able to compensate, and all you'll do is climb and climb and climb and climb and climb until you go into a nose, until you go into a stall, and then you'll thump back into the ground and hurt a lot. So. Just to explain some of the things on this jet engine here. Intake power, I'm not exactly sure. I'm also not sure what this U measurement is. Maybe somebody out there does know. But the ones that we are interested in are the optimal airflow and the efficiency. Now, The optimal airflow, as you can see at the moment, is, well, so the optimal airflow for this engine is 200 U. Let's call them units. And the airflow is sort of fluctuating between the 199 and 200 for as little as makes no difference. And the efficiency, I imagine that 1 is its absolute efficiency. We're going to climb into the thinner atmosphere, and I'm going to show you what happens to this engine as it starts to choke at around about, like I said, it's about the 8,000 metre mark. The other thing as well is look at how slowly it drains through the fuel. It's because what I'm going to do after this, just as one last little thing to take us up to the half-hour mark, I'm going to put the that spiked rocket jet engine thing on the back, and I'll show you how much fuel that drinks. So there you go. I mean, we're in a pretty steep climb now. 107, slowing down a little bit, but I mean that's to be expected. Could go up at sort of a 45-degree angle. I'm not going to bother landing this, it'll take too long to spin round. I think I've spent enough time on this video showing you what to do. I've shown you that I can land as well, so I'll just go ahead and cut this one off. But so the atmosphere now starting to thin out a little bit, and it's looking a lot less 200-y, and there you go, it's starting to drop now. Now as we climb higher and higher and higher, say the magic number's around about 8,000 metres, this will choke itself to death and will start falling out of the sky. Spoilers. But there you go now, it's really thumping down. So coming to the 5,000. 5,500. Struggling now to keep it on this particular heading. You see the nose is starting to push back down again because it's running out of oomph. And we're nearly at half the airflow that it needs, and look, this atmosphere's barely dropped compared to how much power was dropped out of the engine. I don't even think we're going to see the 8,000 mark off this. I'll be surprised if we do. But I mean, that's all I can do to keep the nose. I can turn the SAS off, but that makes no difference either. But it does fly very well. We're gaining speed, but that's probably because we're coming back down. And that seems to be it. That seems to be it out of steam there. But now that we're coming into the lower atmosphere, it's starting to pick back up again. So you get the idea with that anyway. So that's how to build a bigger aircraft. You see that you don't need a vast amount of engines and thrust and so on and so forth if you just want a plane which is going to fly quickly at low altitude. If you wanted to do, I was going to show you the Aerospike, wasn't I? If you wanted a faster plane, then these become quite difficult. So I'm just going to drop that on by itself. We'll go ahead and launch. I'm not going to save it. And this one will need the SAS. I won't need to touch the takeoff for it. I'm just going to put it onto half throttle for now. But look at that. And look at the rate it's going through the fuel. We're up and off the runway. Again, I'm not touching the controls. I'm going to gear up. And then if I put that to full throttle, I mean, that's one of those full big 125. There is, well, there are bigger fuel containers than that, which are in the new parts. But I bet they wouldn't put up too much of a fight. You see now that we're going so fast that this nose has got too much lift. I'm trying to keep the tail end up, but the nose is just lifting because of the speed that we're travelling at. So if this was a serious design, I would need to lower that. I mean, of course, you can throttle back on it to about 25% and run it at this. Bleed a lot of that speed out. And this engine will keep going and going and going. It doesn't need an atmosphere to breathe. You see, we're already up at 5,000 metres, and we're coming down to our last fuel tank already. And that's at a quarter throttle. and look at the rate it's going through. It's an unusable engine. I think that the rocket engines burn less fuel and actually probably produce more thrust. But you see, we also have a different readout. So the consumption is 4.4 litres per second. And I don't know what the specific impulse is. Maybe revolutions per second, I'm not sure. But here we go, tearing into the last tank now. Still gaining speed even at this low throttle. .8 litres a second. That's a bit more reasonable now. We're starting to pan out a little bit. Still climbing. Let's say 11,000 metres there. Still gaining speed. Just try and gain a bit more altitude so we're not dropping out. So that's it, that's that tank nearly out. But see, about 11,000 metres with really pushing it. But we haven't gone very far from the aerobase. But we're travelling 400 metres per second as a ground speed. But we've burnt through all that fuel in that little time. So let's say not a great engine unless you want to get through fuel quickly. So yeah, don't forget to join me next time where we'll be getting a shuttle into an orbit. From the runway. Hopefully that should all go off without a hitch, but make sure that you join me to find out. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Hobo, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.